Welcome to the Whissel Way Podcast. My name is Kyle Whissel, your host with Whissel Realty Group and eXp Realty in San Diego.
And I'm Bryan Koci, Director of Media here at Whissel Realty Group.
The goal of the show is to give you the tools, techniques, and tactics to go out there and crush it in your business. The way that we like to do that is to answer the questions that you have for us. If you have a question you want to have answered on the show, you can always go to thewhisselway.com, thewhisselway.com. You can ask us questions on there, subscribe to the podcast, the YouTube channel, join our referral network and our email newsletter to get fun tips and tricks. And you can find out about our Media Mayor Mastermind event, which is everything Bryan and I have learned in shooting 7 years worth of videos together, bundled up in a nice little package to help you get out there and shortcut your learning curve to creating killer videos.
It's not so little anymore.
No?
No. It's growing.
It's getting bigger.
Yes.
It's getting bigger. It's growing. If you enjoy the show today, really appreciate it. If you are watching on YouTube, hit that thumbs up button. Let YouTube know you're enjoying the content. Also hit the subscribe button and the little notification bell so you get notified of future episodes of the show. And if you are listening on a podcast platform, make sure to hook us up with a review on there. That goes a really long way to helping spread the word about the show. So with that said, Bryan, what are we talking about today?
So today I wanted to kind of give our viewers a little behind the scenes. We talk about the Media Mayor Mastermind a lot. I want to give a kind of a behind the scenes of where we're at with it now, what we've done to kind of change and upgrade it. And I think this is going to be really helpful for anyone that is looking to host an event or do an online course, to see kind of the successes we've had, but also the failures we've had, and also kind of the goals for the future. So I kind of want to just dive into that.
All right. I'll follow your lead.
Damn. So one of the things that I think is really interesting is, and that I'm really happy that we're doing with this course, is that it's constantly growing. Yeah. And I love doing that for two reasons. One, it gives those people that signed up for the early bird special, they got in at a good price and value continues to add to them. And two, because of the subscription base or the subscription type model we have literally a financial obligation or financial motivation to continue to add value to these to our subscribers.
Well,
to our users.
let's rewind a little.
Sorry,
it's cool.
I keep doing that.
I want to rewind a little, and I want to get us to where we're at, right? So the Media Mayor Mastermind is a course. Bryan and I have again shot videos for 7 years. We got named #1 video influencer in North America by BombBomb, top 5 video influencers to watch by Inman this year, and we have created a course called the Media Mayor Mastermind, which is teaching what we refer to as the Media Mayor Strategy, which Gary Vee calls the Digital Mayor Strategy, and teaching people how to become the mayor of their community with the usage of video.
Not the actual mayor. Facebook thinks it's the actual mayor. I'm literally verifying my identity as we speak so I can run political ads. So I can run ads about this.
And we traditionally have run this as a in-person event. So we do 2 or 3?
2.
We did 2 of these pre-COVID where we would rent out a really fancy house down on the coast in San Diego, and then people would fly in from around the country, and we would spend 2 full days just deep diving into everything that we do when it comes to creating video. And we've ran that as an in-person event. We had our 3rd one scheduled, and it just happened to fall in March of 2020, which was right when all the lockdowns and all of that stuff happened. So we weren't able to run our event the way that we wanted to, so we were forced to kind of flip to a digital way of running it. So we did do a digital version, and we did it all via a Facebook group. So what we would do is teach each week the different sections and sessions of what's part of what we would normally deliver in the in-person event, and we did Facebook Lives every single week, made them very interactive, and delivered the exact same content just in Facebook. And it was good.
It was good. There's things that I loved about it and things that I really didn't like about it.
What did you love? What did you not love? And just so you know, like within Facebook, within a group, you can create what they call units, which would be like chapters of a book, so to speak. So you could say like, here's the chapter about the equipment you should use. Here's the chapter about shooting a community video. Here's the chapter about shooting green screen videos, right? Like, so we could break it down into different sections. And we did all Facebook Live, and it was all available inside that group.
So the thing I loved about it is we did it once a week, every week. So it gave our attendees the ability to learn something, implement it within the next week, ask questions as they went on, and then go to the next step. I really love that. When we do it in person, we give a lot of information. in a very condensed, short amount of time, to where we teach you how to create a Facebook page, create a Facebook group, do all these things, but there's no time to implement. So I really love that it was spread out. We gave people time to implement. What I didn't love is, I don't know if you are aware of this, but people get busy from time to time. So if they missed a week, with how we built this course, everything builds on itself. So week 3 builds on 1 and 2, and week 4, you need to know week 3 in order to go to week 4, typically. And so if they missed a week because they had a listing presentation, they were out of town, then it was really hard to catch up. So I didn't love that aspect of it. So those were my big loves and dislikes.
Yeah, and then I think the good thing was we made it very interactive, which was great if you were watching live, but if you weren't watching live, the interaction was just noise, and it made it longer than it needed to be. For somebody like me who's an ultra high D, like, I don't want the chit chat, just tell me what I need to know and give it to me quickly. I'm the kind of guy, if I'm watching something on YouTube, then I'm watching it at 1.5, maybe 2 times speed, because I want to get the content in faster. So I think that was the negative with how we ran that, with it being interactive. So again, if you were live, it was great. A lot of back and forth like we would have at our actual live event in person. But if you couldn't be on the event live and you had to watch the recording, you were just hearing a bunch of stuff that wasn't really that relevant.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, we ran that, and it was good. We had a lot of people sign up. We had a blast. It was fun. But I think we learned a lot from it. And as COVID dragged on more and more, we decided, like, hey, we need to do this again, but let's do it in a more polished professional thing. The live was fun and it was free flowing, more like the in-person event, but let's really put some polish on this thing, and let's really plan, let's script, let's prepare, let's have a set, let's dial this thing in. And we looked at all of the different LMSs, which stands for Learning Management System. The 3 biggest ones out there is Teachable, Thinkific, and Kajabi tend to be the 3 biggest platforms. Thinkific, Teachable, and Kajabi. They all have tricky names.
Yeah.
Those are the 3 primary ones. And we sat around and kicked tires and, what about this one, that one? At the end of the day, they're all good.
I think you tried about 20 different
I was trying
ones.
cheaper versions too.
Yeah.
So I did try cheaper versions and they all suck. And finally I was like, all right, F it. We need to pick one of the 3. Teachable happened to be running a sale that day. And so I was like, all right, Teachable it is. So we decided on Teachable to be our system for our learning management. So our LMS, learning management system, we decided on was Teachable. One of the things that I did like with Teachable was that there's both the online version and there's an app version. And so I realized, I've actually used Teachable before with other people's courses, and I could access those from an app, which is very convenient because a lot of us are on the go all the time. Most of the YouTube videos that I watch, and I'm saying this in air quotes because I'm not really watching them, sometimes I'm in the shower, sometimes it's while I'm riding like my Peloton bike. Like, I'm doing it when I'm on the go. I'm not sitting in front of a computer screen.
More
so
like a podcast.
Something that could be, effectively, it's like a podcast to me. I don't need to see the graphics. So that was a big reason why we like Teachable too. And I really liked the UI. I felt like it was very pleasing to the eye. It was easy to navigate. And so that's how we decided on that system. And so we then committed, like, all right, this is our system. And we built out all of the course, which we broke down into 8 sections.
We started with 8, yep.
Started with 8 sections. And when we just blocked off time, like 8-hour days. The thing that I think Brian and I have both learned with videos is it's really hard to just shoot a video here and a video there and a video here and a video there. If you just block off 8 hours, you get in the zone. You get your body's all fueled up, you're hydrated and all that. You can go for 8 hours. And once you get in that zone, it's just like, let's go. You feel good and you rip. So I think we did it in 2 full days, 3 full days?
I think we
3.
did. I think we did 3.
So we set up a studio here in the office with good cameras, good lighting, good mics, all of that stuff, and we just ripped for 3 days over a 2-week period.
And the great thing is, what I really liked about this is we took our in-person kind of our format. We looked at our online every week, what we kind of talked about there, and then we said, okay, how can we break this into chapters? How can we break this into lectures to where one of the things that I really liked when we did the online version, I didn't like this part, is there were 2-hour sections. That's a lot of information in 2 hours. We broke those down into bite-sized pieces. So if you go, I only have 10 minutes, you can watch segments that are 10 minutes. If you say, hey, I have 2 hours, you can dive through a bunch of them. But you can we really broke it down. We really planned each segment and said, okay, let's make sure we talk about this. We did this on the online or on the Facebook group one, but let's make sure we add this. And then one other thing that I really like about the Teachable as opposed to the Facebook Live is not only do we do the video in a much higher quality, in a much more planned out way, but then we were able to add in text and links to all the things we talked about. So we have our links to all of our gear that we have. We have links to videos that we talk about in the course. It's all there rather than when we talked about it live and then we go, I'll share that video with you later, and it gets kind of jumbled. So now it's all in one place.
Yeah, when we went for 2 hours, we talked about so many different things during that 2 hours, and it was really hard to go back and add the links and stuff after. So this way, I think most of the sections are 5 to 15 minutes.
Yep.
And then I like, too, the thing I struggle with where I have trouble, like, reading books or anything is, like, where did I stop? Like, and what was the last thing I did? And what I actually like to do is go back one chapter before where I cut off so I can watch that, and that gets me back in the zone, and then I can move forward with it. So the fact you could see things sequentially very easily, and you see little check marks next to the parts that you've done, that's helped me out a lot.
Cool. And one other thing that is different, so kind of the flip side of that is there are sections in here that we say, hey, this is super high level. This is great if you're a videographer. If you're an agent that is doing video for the first time, don't even watch this. You can totally skip sections. Like we have a portion that talks about, if it's just you doing these videos, if it's you and the camera person, or if you're hiring a videographer. If this is your first day as an agent, don't even watch the hiring a videographer portion.
It's like a choose your own adventure.
Exactly. So you can skip things, you can come back to things later, all that good stuff.
Yeah, so I think that was also very beneficial. I think the other things I really, really enjoyed with Teachable, I think where you were getting to at the very beginning of this, before we actually built the foundation.
Yeah, let's start at minute one again.
Yeah, and maybe if you want to put a chimney on now and talk about the fact. So what was great is we cranked all this content out in 3 days, 8-hour days, and just shot a massive amount of content. But now what's cool with Teachable is we can go add additional lectures, is what they call them, or sections or chapters, whatever. They're all the same thing. We can add additional things in. So we started with the 8 core lectures inside of Teachable, but now we've started to realize there's other things that could be very valuable to add in. So we were able to add a 9th lecture in that was all built around the actual shoot. Hey, we actually had a shoot coming up. Let's document the entire thing. Again, this is something we talk about in the course, is you don't always have to create new content. You can just document what you're already doing. So we documented an entire shoot from, beginning to end, and we were able to add that as a lecture. And now as we've, the course has continued, people have said hey, we want to learn, we know you guys are using a virtual assistant to help with your editing. We want to use a virtual assistant. Great, we can add another lecture on that. So we can always add on to it too, to make it even more valuable.
And that's one of the things that I'm really excited about as we grow this course, is adding those new lectures and getting that feedback from the group. I posted in the group saying, hey, what do you guys want to learn about next? I listed 4 or 5 things, and I was certain that they were gonna say, hey, I want to learn this topic, and they didn't. And they said, we want to learn about virtual assistants. So I said, okay, that'll be the next one we do. And I'm currently building that out and saying, what does that look like? How do we speak about that coherently? Again, not kind of off the cuff. How do we build that in and take them from very beginning and visualizing your department to actually utilizing a virtual assistant in a daily basis? So that's one of the things I like, and that's another reason when people say, hey, the price now is not what it started. Well, also the course now is not what it started. And I want to continue to add value as we go, and as we grow. Social media is always changing, video is changing, and I want to make sure that the people that signed up with us and are still riding with us are still getting value. That's important to me. You and I are very similar in the fact that we like to teach, we like to help people grow, and so that's nice that now there's a financial incentive for us even to keep adding value. But then again, it's also an incentive for you as the user to continue to come back to the course.
Yeah, and I think that's where we took some of what we learned in the initial version via Facebook, combined with now doing it in LMS and Teachable, is now we still maintained a Facebook version. And so what we do there is we go live twice a month where we can actually do Q&A and have the interaction. So for those that want to go a little bit deeper on particular topics, that's still available, but it's not like the original version where the content and the Q&A were one and the same. Now they're separate. So now if you watch a certain section, you need some more clarity or you want to go deeper on a topic, we have the bi-monthly Q&As for that, so we can go deeper, which is great. And then, like Bryan mentioned, there's an ongoing part of it, which we didn't have before. So in addition, not only are we going to teach you everything you need to know about video, how to set it up, the equipment, the distribution, running ads, all that stuff.
Actually making money from it.
Yeah, maybe how to make money from your videos. But also we're going to give you 4 specific videos every single month to shoot. And we're not going to be like, go shoot a video about a market update. Go shoot a video about it. Like, we're going to give you a full video that's already done by either myself or one of our agents. And then you're going to have the entire script or outline of a script for you to go and shoot that exact same video. We want you to R&D us, like shoot the same video. That's fine, right? You're going to use your own words. We used our own words. It's going to be great. You're just going to take what we did, put your own little twist on it, make it your own. But now you have the framework of 4 videos every single month to shoot with full examples of one that's already been shot, so that you can go shoot it yourself and end up with consistent content. Because we don't want you to just this to be the thing you go to the course and then you're like, oh, that was awesome, and you walk away and do nothing with it. We want to give you something every single month to keep you going. So between the Q&As that are in the Facebook group, and then we're posting in the Facebook group the 4 different videos every month, that way we can really keep it ongoing and make sure that the people who take the course are actually going to go and create the videos and get the value out of it.
Exactly. Last thing before we get to our widget, I kind of want to talk about future plans. Obviously, the plan is to continue to grow the course, continue to grow with the chapters, the modules, the lectures, all that sort of stuff. Where do you see this going as we expand?
Yeah, I think the big thing is we're going to do a live version. We need to get, or a in-person version, I should be clear on that. So there's definite plans to get something rolling before the end of the year to do an in-person version, because as much as the online version is cool, there's something special about being immersed. If you guys have ever been to a Tony Robbins event, they talk about immersion a lot. And when you immerse yourself in an environment of nothing but video for 2 full days, and now you're taking all the content in a short period of time, there's something magical that happens, especially when you're in a room with other people that all have the same desire to go and crush it with video. And you've got people in the room who are brand new, and you've got people who, have literally worked in Hollywood in the same room together, all sharing, collaborating. It's really magical. You have a lot of the agents who are there with their videographers there, and it's really fun to watch people sit in the session during the day and then grab lunch and see them sidebar and start, oh, hey, we should do this. Like, there's that live collaboration that's happening, or people in different markets are collaborating. Like, here's what we're doing in our market, here's what we're doing. And there's a lot more that happens when we're all together for a couple days, having breakfast, lunch, dinner, drinks together. It adds a lot to the experience, where we can, sit around the fire pit and have some drinks and shoot the shit, get to know each other a little bit too, and find out where everybody's been and how did we get to where we are. That's
one thing that I haven't found a good way to replicate online, is getting the person-to-person interaction, the I get to know you as a person, you get to know me. I talk with people that came to our in-person event. I probably talk to someone each day, either checking in with them, seeing how their life is going, or they ask me a question or I ask them a question. And that mastermind and that intimate knowledge that you have of each other, I still haven't found a way to replicate that online.
We just went through COVID. Nobody figured that shit out.
I know.
It's just not the same.
It's not the same.
It's just not the same.
I want it to be the same.
When you're physically together in one place, it's another animal. And so I'm excited to get that rolling. So if you're listening to this, you're watching this, if you want to learn more about this, if you want to dive into this digital version that we talked about, the digital version, just for perspective, is significantly cheaper than the in-person event, because we don't have to rent a house. We don't have to buy breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
So we don't have to feed you or
and
give
get
you
you
alcohol.
drunk and all that. So it's much less expensive. So if you're balling on a budget, the digital version is going to be the way to go. You can go to MediaMayorMastermind.com, and you can get dialed in with that. I have a feeling pricing will go up at some point because it's been doing extremely well. So make sure to jump on that in case there are any price increases in the future. I know Coach is already pushing for that. So so do that. And then also that'll also help you get notified when we do plan that in-person event, because that is something that we'll be announcing here in the not too distant future. So make sure to get dialed in with all of that. Anything else you want to add?
Nope.
Cool.
Well, I guess the last thing is those that have been with us from the beginning have definitely seen an improvement in our process. One of the things that I'm really proud of that we do is we continuously check in with our people and say, hey, how can we do better? How can we do better? And I think we're doing a really good job of taking that feedback and implementing it immediately. One of the things was we did a one hour Q&A. Now we're doing 2 30-minute Q&As each month. Doing a much better job of following up with people, delivering the content. We were just posting it in the Facebook group, now sending emails, text messages. Same thing about reminding for the Q&As. I think we're getting a much better, much smoother process of touching base with people and engaging with people and being able to answer their questions as they come up. I think there's still room for improvement, but seeing the group now versus a month ago, it's 10 times more valuable, and I love it.
Beautiful. Awesome. Well, if you're getting value out of the show today, really appreciate if you are watching on YouTube, hit that thumbs up button, let YouTube know you're enjoying the show. Also, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you get updated of future episodes of the show. We are going to dive into our widget of the week, which is something that either saves us time, makes us more money, or helps us have more fun. But before we do, if you have a question you want to have answered on a future episode of the show, you can always go to thewhisselway.com. Ask us questions, join our referral network and our email newsletter. You can subscribe to the podcast and YouTube channel on there and get the details on the Media Mayor Mastermind events. You go to thewhisselway.com for that. Brian, what do you got for us with your widget this week?
So my widget this week is something we actually just talked about in our Q&A with our Media Mayor Mastermind group, I think last week. And it's a way to outsource your editing without having to train anyone, without having any long-term contract, and for a fairly decent rate. We've talked about a couple different ways of, utilizing Fiverr to find someone to do your editing, but they can be inconsistent, or they could, that you can use them now and not later, or hiring someone on staff, either here in person or utilizing a VA, but that takes time and energy, and you got to train them up sometimes. And so this is kind of a good in-between route, and it's called Video Husky. And if you go to their website, they will retarget you like crazy. They do a great job with it. But Video Husky, they might change the pricing, but last I checked, it was $500 a month. You can do, air quotes, unlimited videos. I think you can do one at a time. And you just upload your video. They'll edit it. They'll give you a draft, and you say, I like it, tweak this, tweak this, tweak this. They'll do that, and once they're done with that, you can run through another video. So if you're not fully committed to hiring someone on full time, but want some more consistency than going to Fiverr or having a friend edit it here or there, Video Husky is a pretty cool product. Not something I've personally used, but we know people that have personally used it and enjoy it.
Cool. Mine is just something that's pretty simple, but a lot of people don't understand the power of it. Most importantly, if you're using a web browser, you should be using Google Chrome. If you're not using Google Chrome, you're missing the boat. The number one reason for that is within Google Chrome, there's a web store for extensions, and there's all kinds of really, really cool extensions that you can add on to your Google Chrome. There's things like an ad blocker that will stop you from getting hit with a bunch of ads on there.
Especially on YouTube, they work. It's amazing.
So this is simple. I'm just going to leave it. I'm not going to get into all of the different extensions, but there's so many different extensions. If you're using things like, they'll add on, we used to use Trello pretty heavily, and within Trello, there's like 10 different extensions you can add on to make Trello even better than it already is. There's like password management things. There's so many different cool things. DocuSign's got something. So strongly recommend just dive into the Google Web Store under extensions and just play around and think about what are the different things that I use on a regular basis, the different websites and whatnot. You will find some pretty amazing stuff that can really increase your productivity or block out some of the distractions that you don't really need anymore. So the Google Web Store. That's what I got for you.
Sounds good. I like it.
Cool. Well, hopefully you got a ton of value out of the show today. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the Whissel Way Podcast.
See you on the Media Mayor Mastermind group.
Wait. Before you leave, I want to share some more tips and tricks that we're using in our business to take it to that next level. Just click right here. And don't forget to subscribe. Click right here.